Early morning meeting. And thank you. Those who have spoken before me have kept, they have made use of time, and I hope the rest of us will do the same. We'll be here, we'll be out of here a few minutes to 10 a.m. Welcome, Kenyans and fellow and friends of Kenya, and I bring you greetings from President William Ruto, who is very optimistic that this engagement will strengthen the vital relationship between the government of Kenya and our development partners. Kenya has been and continues to be a collaborative partner with the global network of nations and to effective partnerships of mutual interest. As we are all aware, development demands in Kenya and many countries far outweigh the available resources. The government is therefore implementing its commitments in partnership with yourselves, not only in alignment with our foreign policy, but also to support the fulfillment of our development objectives. The job creation and income opportunity agenda has become a critical anchor in our programming going forward. Thus, it is important to review existing programs for purposes of evaluating their currency and responsiveness to this agenda of job and income creation and other priority programs within the context of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Our focus on opportunities, especially those that help our nascent industries and sectors, including micro, small, and medium enterprises, is our new north. We must drive job and value creation in our programming. Where the same is not perfectly aligned, we must be willing and able to allow change. In other words, we are requesting our development partners to work with us to align existing and future programs with the priorities of Kenya, notably the priorities of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which is spearheaded by this administration, and also the vision, the Kenya Vision 2030 priorities. We will also be supporting the diversification of our economy to create jobs and expand the tax base. To do this, we are examining measures to support private sector enterprises operating in key development areas such as manufacturing and agriculture, and attract and retain domestic and foreign direct investment. This forum therefore remains a critical platform, not only to review the progress of our official development assistance, but also to reflect on how this assistance aligns with Kenya's national priorities. Most importantly, it's a unique opportunity to cement and fortify the partnership that we all cherish. Ladies and gentlemen, as we convene today, we must ask ourselves a fundamental question, which is, are the ODA programs and projects jointly funded by the government and yourselves, the development partners, demand-driven, or are they supply-driven? During the last DPF, concerns were raised regarding absorption rates of our jointly funded projects. Therefore, a report is being tabled today, which presents a mixed bag of results characterized by a progress that is fragile. We do not take it for granted that the collaboration with development partners, in collaboration with development partners, the government of Kenya has made impressive achievements in terms of socio-economic development, as well as the management of our environment and natural resources. While we celebrate the milestones we have achieved together as partners, we must confront recurring challenges that continue to hinder optimal absorption of ODA. And these challenges are attributable to both sides of the partnership, with development partners and the government of The call, therefore, will be for all of us to take actionable steps to overcome these setbacks. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, chief among these is the issue of counterpart funding. The absence of clear, predictable counterpart funding requirements embedded within the financing agreements continues to pose a serious impediment to project implementation. We have also identified the challenge of uncoordinated off-budget support, whose lack of centralized visibility presents risks such as double allocation of resources to similar projects, ineffective planning, and possible lack of accountability. Further, addressing aged, stalled, and delayed projects is essential to optimizing resources and mitigating risks, anchored by a strong monitoring and evaluation framework. We expect to receive the report on measures to address this and other challenges, and we are working with the National Treasury to issue guidelines specifying counterpart funding caps, eligible expenditures, and clearer provisions to ring-fence counterpart contributions from budget cuts. Further, we are encouraging prioritization of in-kind contributions and visibility of all off-budget support to ease fiscal pressure. We are also intent on introducing clear criteria for identifying viable projects and introducing cut-off periods beyond which projects should be renegotiated or terminated. Some of the projects are 15, 20, 25 years old. We cannot continue having them on board. We have either to renegotiate them because of the fundamental change of circumstances, or terminate them, or otherwise deal with them. This will invariably involve the review of the Joint Sector Working Group framework, and I think there is a presentation today, to secure its viability and anchorage of the DPF process. We all remember that nearly 2 decades ago, Excellencies, the Paris Declaration on Aid Effectiveness of 2005 set out 5 principles, namely country ownership, alignment, harmonization, managing for results, and mutual accountability. These tenets remain as relevant today as they did back then. The Nairobi Declaration on Climate Change, adopted at the Africa Climate Summit, serves as Africa's common position on future climate negotiations. This declaration emphasizes the need for global collaboration to mobilize climate finance and reforms to the global financial system to better support African nations in their climate goals. We expect to receive a status report from the Ministry of Environment and Forestry and Climate Change, and a call to action in this regard. Lastly, we appreciate that development partner support may be impacted by the general withdrawal of support to key programs, particularly by traditional partners such as the United States of America. Major policy shifts are reshaping country priorities, impacting on the long-standing financing support we have traditionally received as a country. We expect to receive a report from the National Treasury on the mitigation actions in place and the particular reforms being prioritized to secure seamless transitions. Our DPF today should invariably lead us to adopt a whole-of-society approach in leveraging funds through coordinated structures to maximize impact, reduce duplication, improve governance, and strengthen linkages among interconnected projects. As we gather here today, our goal is to deepen ongoing reforms, strengthen the use of county systems, improve absorption rates, and ensure that every shilling of ODA is fully aligned with Vision 2030, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, and the medium-term plan for priorities, while honoring our commitments under the Paris, Accra, Busan, and Nairobi outcome frameworks. Let us transform ODA from a mere flow of resources into a powerful driver of Kenya's sustainable and inclusive transformation. I would like to thank all of you for joining us here today and working with us to achieve our national priorities aimed at improving the livelihoods of the people of Kenya. With these remarks, it is my great pleasure to officially declare the 13th Development Partnership Forum open and invite us to receive the first presentation of today's program. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to just say how important it is for us to gather here today and to apologize that it has taken a bit long for us to convene. I assumed the current responsibilities around 10 months ago, maybe 9. By the time I was settling in to organize ourselves for this event, I think some of you had gone on vacation 2 months ago or thereabouts, and therefore I delayed on my part, but also when I was ready, the circumstances were not also mutually aligned for us to have a meeting maybe in July. Having said that also, I just want us to really concentrate on taking this forum and its deliberations forward. So we are looking at just picking what is it, what are the sticking issues. It is counterpart funding. It is off-budget support issues. It is whether PMFA supports the kind of requests we are asking our development partners to align to. It is looking at old, stalled projects and see whether we should do with them, and so forth and so on. So if you tease out the issues, there are about 5, 6 issues, and that should not take forever. We should just look at the progress made, listen to what proposals are being put on the table, and make decisions on how we progress. And I really hope, because of the time lost in convening this DPF, the 13th one, I think the 14th one should come early, very early. And I want to propose that before we close this calendar year, maybe before Christmas, we should have another DPF so that we catch up with our responsibilities. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, I invite you to take your seat as chair and now hand over to Ambassador Groth to moderate us through the next session of this program. Asante sana.